And we are back for part 2. What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back to a Toddy Walnuts Collection overview video. Welcome all my friends and the rest of you bellends out there. I'm going over part 2 of my television series box sets that consist of horror and sci-fi films. Hope you guys enjoyed part 1. And let's just get right into it here with part 2. It's going to be shorter than the first part, but I'm going to try to go through everything that I have here. And the first one is a show I have yet to watch. I picked this up at Target. This is Stranger Things. It's a Netflix original series. I know I'm probably the last person out there who has not seen this yet. I really love the packaging on this. I'm not sure if this was a Target exclusive or not. It came out, it was out for a few months, and then they dropped it in price ridiculous. It was like $10 or something like that. And this is kind of a retro style VHS box. And this is season 1, by the way. Let me see if I can pop this out. There we go. So you got a pretty decent slipcover. A little bit thin, to be honest, but it still looks pretty cool. It does have that VHS retro vibe to it. And then when you look at the inside, it looks exactly like a tape. And I think this little flap is magnetized, so you can just kind of pop that off. And there's a little booklet here, and here's where the discs are housed. So I really like that edition. I like the way that that looks. Put that off to the side. And I have season 2, which again I have not watched. Wouldn't make sense to watch season 2 and not season 1, right? You guys pretty much figured I didn't watch this one either, but I will at some point watch these. I heard good things from a lot of people. My brother and his wife watched this show. I think it's over now, right? Didn't they, was it like 4 seasons or something like that? I'm not sure. And this one comes with some little trinkets in here. Again, it looks like it's a VHS, and then the discs are housed inside there. And you know, I'm really a sucker for this retro style packaging. Again, I picked this up at Target, and it was very, very cheap. I'm not sure why they were selling it so cheap. This is these are both Blu-ray sets, and I know that this has been re-released on 4K also. I don't think I need to upgrade this to 4K. I'm pretty happy with these sets as they are. So now the next series I'm going to show you guys, I only have just 1 season, and that wasn't really, I couldn't get into this one. I tried to. This is Fear the Walking Dead, the complete first season on Blu-ray. I really tried to get into it, and I just couldn't. This is a 2-disc set from season 1, and it comes with a pretty nice slipcover. I don't plan on ever watching this again, and I think I only watched about maybe 2 or 3 episodes. Maybe I'll have to go back and revisit it and see if it, you know, if I feel any different about it, but it just it wasn't holding my interest, and I never went back to it. And that's a little bit similar to the next series that I'm going to show you guys here. At one time I had the first 5 seasons, or the first 6 I should say, but season 1 and 2, I think I sold those, and I couldn't really get into this series. I watched it through, I think, season 5, and then I just checked out. I lost complete interest in it. There was a lot of characters that annoyed me. Carl annoyed the hell out of me. Shane, he was a terrible character. I hated his character. But anyway, I have these big steel books. This is season 3. I believe these were also Target exclusives. And I'm not going to go through everything, but I think the show is still going on. It's probably getting ready to wrap up. Here's the complete 4th season. I think right around the time I checked out of the show is when Rick was kind of losing his mind, and he was talking to his dead wife on a phone that wasn't working, and I was like, what the hell is this, man? They kind of, at least in my own opinion, because I know this was a very popular show and a lot of people love this, I just couldn't stick with it. And I tried, I wanted to. Here's the complete 5th season. Another thing that was kind of annoying to me also was Daryl Dixon. He was supposed to be this stealthy crossbow, you know, tiptoeing through the woods, and then he would ride around on a loud-ass Harley, which made no sense. You know, how are you going to be stealthy if you're on a hog riding through the woods? I mean, it didn't make any sense to me. But I really liked the character of Michonne. She was awesome. She was my favorite character. This is the complete 6th season. This is the last one I have. I do not plan on ever going back and rewatching this or finishing it. Like I said, it's just everybody has their own tastes in films and movies and TV shows and all that stuff, and I just couldn't get into this. So I'll probably end up selling those at some point, actually. So, alright, we'll keep moving here. Enough moaning about The Walking Dead. Here's a show I loved as a kid, and I still have that, I get that sentimental feeling when I pop this in and I feel like I'm a little kid again. This is Lost in Space, the complete 1st season. Irwin Allen again. This was such a great show. And this box set comes with all these little little slim packs. There's 8 discs. It's supposed to be set in the future, 1997. Love this. I love this series. It's really good. And I have Season 2, Volume 1. See, they got a little bit clever. Instead of putting out a whole season in one box set and charging a price for it, they broke it up into 2 sets to buy now, so you're spending more money. So there are the discs, 4 discs in this set. Here is Season 2, Volume 2. Lost in Space ran from 1965 through 1968. 4 discs. And here is Lost in Space, Season 3, Volume 1. There are the Robinsons. Oh, that old nasty bastard, Dr. Smith. But he played a great part. He was kind of like the villain always, you know, because he was always untrustworthy, always complaining, didn't want to pull his own weight. You know, he would sacrifice any of these people to save his own hide. And you really got annoyed by the guy, and that's how you know that he played a great role. And the last one is Season 3, Volume 2. Great series. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see, what do we get in next? We'll go through and, let's see. Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Season 1. An excellent series. Very, very good writing. You can just sit and watch these and get mesmerized by that. It was great acting, great writing. These were excellent little shorts. And this one has 39 episodes in Season 1. It does have some special features. I really recommend this program. If you guys haven't watched it before, check it out. Here's Season 2. These are all full frame. All right, here's season, got these a little bit mixed up here. Here's season 3. Season 4. Not really a whole lot to say about these, really. I mean, they're great anthology stories. Of course, Hitchcock was an award-winning director, so you know you're going to get top-notch, stories. And I mean, not too many people did it better than Hitchcock. He's the master of suspense for a reason. And that's season 5. So now we are up to the X-Files. I never owned the DVDs of these. They had some pretty nice box sets. And it's a great show. I mean, I've seen just about every episode on TV. I'm sure there's a couple I missed, but I used to religiously, I couldn't wait for Sunday nights to roll around so you can watch the X-Files. And I picked up all the Blu-rays, but I have not watched, I watched some of season 1 so far, but the rest of these are sealed, which I plan on watching them at some point soon. But here's the X-Files season 1. I have a little bit of a gripe about this set, and I'll show you in a minute. It's not really a set. These are all individual releases, but there's one that sticks out like an eyesore. This is a 6-disc set, and I'm not going to pop any more open because, like I said, they're still sealed, but these look really, really good on Blu-ray. It's season 1. Those are the 2 movies. 3 movies rather, so these are out of order here, but anyway, this is season 9. I'm just going to go a little bit out of order here so we can keep this rolling. Season 8. Here's season 7. So many good episodes and memories of this show. Growing up as a kid watching this. Season 6. Here's season 5. We didn't get to the eyesore yet. It's coming up. Season 4. I think you guys will agree with me. Maybe some of you know what's coming up already. You probably have these too. Here's season 3. And I'm going to leave this sit right here because I'm going to use this as an example to the next one you're about to see. Here's season 2. But it's in a fat pack, and the rest of them are skinny. So when you have them on the shelf, you got that bastard on the right creating an eyesore, and there's nothing you could do about it because they never released it in a regular Amaray case. So you can't swap it out. That annoys me. Here's a movie, The X-Files Fight the Future, which I picked up at FYE. I've seen it already, but I haven't opened up this edition. Here is The X-Files I Want to Believe. Also an FYE purchase. And this is kind of like the resurgence or the rebirth of the X-Files. the event series. They came back for a swan song. And I still have not seen that yet, but I will. I'm going to pause it for a second because I got a cough coming on. Alright, I didn't want to blow your guys' ears out, so I'm back. And the next little pile we're going to be pulling is from American Horror Story. I loved season 1. I watched it all the way through twice. It's excellent. There's a good twist in here that I didn't see coming. It was a really, really good series, or a good season anyway, because I haven't gone through them all yet, but this is the complete first season. I did watch all of Asylum season 2, which was excellent. Not as good as the first season, in my opinion, but very, very good. And I'm about halfway through Coven, the 3rd season. It's harder for me to get into this one. It deals with slavery and abusing slaves, and Kathy Bates is a slave owner, and she does some horrific things to these people, and it was hard for me to watch, and I couldn't get into it. I'm gonna continue plowing through it, but so far it's more uncomfortable than it is enjoyable for me. So that's season 3, and then the rest of these I have not seen yet. This is Freak Show. I heard this was really good. My brother and his wife also watched this. They said it was really good. I guess there's a little pinhead in here named Pepper, and they were telling me about her in this show. I'm looking forward to checking that out at some point when I get time. And then here's the 5th season called Hotel. I think Lady Gaga's in this one, right, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it's the next one. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time. But this show is kind of unique in that all of these seasons, the actors come back and they play different roles in the next season. You know, like in the season 1 they might be family, in season 2 they might be enemies. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but it's kind of a unique idea, and I do like that. And here is season 6, Roanoke. Looking forward to checking this one out as well. Not sure if they released any other seasons yet. I think there's a couple I'm missing. But that's my little stack of that for now. The next series is one that I watched a few episodes and I liked what I saw, but I just haven't delved into it any further than I have so far. But this is Grimm, season 1. This is the DVD edition. This is kind of like a show about cryptids and stuff like that, because they're shapeshifters, werewolves, vampires, stuff like that. You can see some of the characters. It's really cool. And then I have the Blu-ray for season 2, which I haven't touched yet. And I did not pay $49.99 at Best Buy. It was less than that. It was on sale when I picked this up. I believe it was $49.99 at one time, but not when I bought it, because it was had already been out for like 3 or 4 seasons by the time I got this. If anybody has any comments about this series, let me know. I'd like to hear more about that. Another series, I don't know if you would really consider this horror, but I threw it in anyways. I guess for kids it would be horror, or horror themed anyway. And this is a show I've not seen before. By the time this came out, I think this came out like in the mid-90s. I already had a car and I was chasing girls. I wasn't watching, you know, not that there's anything wrong with this, because I'm watching it now, or I'm going to watch it. But at the time I had other priorities, and, you know, in the mid-90s I was at my A game, you know what I'm saying? So, but Goosebumps, I think it did come out in the mid-90s. And would it just run for a couple seasons? 95 to 98, so 3 seasons. This is a box set from the UK, and they released this in 2016. Haven't even opened it yet, but it does come in a fat pack. Let's see how many episodes are in here, if it says on the back. It says approximately 26 hours, so there might be 26 one-hour episodes. Werewolves, ghosts, haunted houses, creepy crawlies, 12-disc set by R.L. Stein. I have seen the movies of this and they were very good, so I'm looking forward to popping that in at some point. All right, a couple more to go, a couple more stacks, that is. And the first, I'll just pull from this. Here's another really good anthology show that was on HBO, I believe starting in the 80s and ending in the mid 90s or so, something like that, late 80s to mid 90s. And I really like the way that these sets look. They have that comic book theme to them because it's based on the Tales from the Crypt comic series. Some of these were very good and some of them were really bad, but you get that in any series you watch. That's season 1. Here's season 2. Special features, behind the scenes shockumentary featurette, young Demi Moore, Crypt Keeper, very cool. Complete 3rd season. I'm sure these probably have a Blu-ray release by now. I don't know if I ever need to upgrade this series. I like the way that these DVD sets look. I don't know that I necessarily need to watch it in, 1080p. I think it's fine the way it is. I think I'll just hang on to these. It's a complete 4th season. And season 5. Season 6. This series was kind of, it raised the bar a little bit in that there was cussing and nudity and stuff that you didn't get in shows like Tales from the Dark Side or Twilight Zone, stuff like that. This kind of changed the game a little bit in that it was more adult driven, and this was on a premium channel, HBO. Here's the complete 7th season. I don't know if this was the last season or not. Here's Daniel Craig. I don't recall if there was. Yeah, it does say at the top right there the final season, so that I just answered my own question. Season 7 was the final. And then a show that I was watching, I got into it when my daughters were watching it. I really loved the soundtrack in this series, and the first couple seasons were really good, and then I kind of checked out again, and that is Supernatural. This is the Supernatural, the anime series. I picked this up at Barnes & Noble. It comes with the slipcover. Haven't watched it yet. Following the Winchesters. But the first couple seasons were really good, and like I said, the soundtrack was phenomenal. And my daughters, they still follow this. I believe it's still going, and they're probably in like season 15 by now. I think I only have like the first 7. But yeah, we had a fun time watching these. Old Sam and Dean Winchester. Wait, what did I just... Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. This is season 2 here. Pretty nice little box set. I picked up a bunch of these on a Black Friday one year. Honestly, these were like 10 bucks a piece on a Black Friday one year, and I just grabbed a whole bunch of them. I mean, I think at that time, like season 7 was just coming out, so we got like we already had like the first 2, and then I bought like 4 of them for 10 bucks a piece, and then I bought season 7 for like 40 bucks. So I didn't mind paying that at that time, since I was getting a bunch of them for 10 bucks. Yep. Good stuff. Let me know if you guys ever got into this series. It was pretty cool. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in the first couple seasons. He's the guy that played Negan, and I thought he played a great role, even though he's not that old in real life. Jeffrey, what did I say his name was? I just said it, now I lost it. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, is that what it was? I believe it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Anyhow, he was the father of these 2 men here, and it just didn't seem like it fit, because he didn't seem like he was old enough to be the dad to these 2 guys. Almost done, guys. Here is season 5. Some of these haven't even been opened yet, and look at that. I didn't pay that, but look, that's crazy. This was back probably, I don't know, 10 years ago when this came out, and that's what they were charging for Blu-rays 10 years ago. Now you can find them at Dollar Tree for $1. Not these, but you could probably find these on eBay for 10 bucks, maybe. Here's season 6. These guys always had really cool cars too. Cool cars and great music. And this is what the Walmart exclusive apparently of season 7 on Blu-ray. And after that I haven't purchased any. I might pick them up eventually. If the price is right, if it drops low enough, maybe I can get them for 10 bucks again. I'd grab a bunch of them. And the final one, I saved my favorite for last. Let's see if I can pull this out over here without destroying something. This is it. This is a big boy. This has become very expensive over the last few years. I picked this up probably 15 years ago, 20 years ago. This is the Unsolved Mysteries Ultimate Collection. I bought this directly off of the Lifetime website, because back then Lifetime, I think they had the rights to this show, and they would show kind of like marathons. They would have like several episodes on in a row late at night. You know, it would run from like 10 p.m. till 2 in the morning every night. They would just have like these little mini marathons. So I bought this on the Lifetime website for, I think, less than 40 to 50 bucks probably. This is a DVD box set, and I think this is going for like $300 to $400, maybe more now on eBay and stuff like that, which I love this show, but I would never pay that much for this box set. And unfortunately, this is the only way you can get it. They never licensed the show out to anybody to release it, so this is the only box set you can get. You can get them individually. I'm going to open it up here in a minute, but we're going to look at the back. But there's some packs inside. You can get them singly, but you won't get the box and the whole box set together. There's 25 discs over 36 hours of the Unsolved Mysteries segments. And just so you guys know, if you're a fan of the show as much as I am, somebody uploaded a whole bunch of episodes to YouTube in very good quality. I'm trying to think of the name, because I've watched several of them now since they've been on YouTube. And there's a little logo that they show before each episode, and I can't remember what it was called. But I think they must have the rights to it, and they're showing it on YouTube. But you can get, I don't know if I want to pull all these out, but you get all these little slim packs here. And this is a Ghosts Disc 1. Those are all episodes that involved ghost or haunting from this series. Second little group here is Miracles, third little grouping is Bizarre Murders. I'm going to share with you guys a couple of my favorite episodes at the end here. And you can let me know what your favorite episodes were. This next little grouping is UFOs. Next one is Strange Legends. And the next one, I just remembered that the company that puts these out, it's called Film Rise. So if you guys want to, if you just put in Unsolved Mysteries in the search window, you'll find it. But it's Film Rise that's been putting them out. There's Psychics. And then the last one is Treasures and Ghosts. So there were a couple of episodes that really stuck with me over the years, because I watched a lot of these many years ago, 20 years ago or maybe more. And there was an episode, I can't remember the family's names, but there was two that stuck out to me. There was an elderly couple, and I believe it was in the state of Ohio. And it was just the old husband and the wife, and I believe they were probably in their 60s, mid to late 60s at the time. And they were being, I'm putting up air quotes, you can't see them, but they were being harassed by somebody. And they kept getting harassed for years, and the wife got knocked unconscious and she had a skull fracture. She had to go to the hospital. Things were stolen from their house, and they couldn't figure out who was doing this, and they had the cops patrolling the area. They had family members that would come and sleep over and turn the lights out, but they would stay awake and see if they can find out who's creeping around the house. They put up emergency lights or floodlights or whatever, motion lights. When you walk past, the light would go on, and this guy or gal, whoever it was, they never caught him. He would leave menacing notes, and he would say stuff like nice try with the safety lights, but I'm still here. He stole a bunch of stuff, and over time he would bring them back one at a time and kind of taunt them and leave like an item on their porch. I have a theory about what I think happened. I think the husband was behind it the whole time, but they never did catch who did it, and the husband never confessed. He was never really a main suspect, although they did question him. They never caught anybody for doing it. And so still to this day, I believe the husband did it. And there was another episode that really kind of stayed with me over the years. It was a lady. I think she had some kind of mental problem. She had to have, but she kept calling the police and saying that somebody was harassing her, somebody was stalking her. She can see shadows go past her windows at night when she's trying to sleep. She would hear somebody slamming on her door, and then she would check the door, nobody's there, and then they'd slam on the side of her house, and she was terrified. And she would call the cops would come over, they would do a perimeter search, they would, with their flashlights, check the whole yard, behind the garage, around the house. Nothing, no footsteps, nothing. Then she would call the police or for a rescue squad because somebody beat the fuck out of her and she's bleeding from her ears and her eyes, and the cops would take her, ambulance would take her to the hospital, and she would need stitches or she's bleeding, and they couldn't figure out anything, who was doing it. They couldn't find any DNA. And then finally the police thought that she was doing this to herself, and they kind of started getting a little bit laxed. Like, they were always doing these patrols around the house. They were sending like 2 or 3 cops around the house every hour or so. Sometimes they would have a cop car parked across the street, and he would just sit there and watch this house. And every time that happened, they never caught any kind of misdeeds, or they would never find anybody harassing this lady, until one day they finally started telling her, "We think you're full of crap. We think you're lying. You have you need medication. You have some kind of psychosis or something." And then one day they found her bound and gagged and murdered. So, the way that they described it was something that a person couldn't do to themselves. The way that she was bound and gagged, she could not have done it to herself. So that was the end result of all this time that she was getting harassed. the cops started to not believe her, and then she wound up dead, and that kind of stuck with me. That was a creepy episode. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling, guys. I really appreciate you spending some time with me, and I enjoy you guys watching my videos and commenting if you want to. So now, if you guys will excuse me, I'm going to go have myself a wank, and I will catch you guys next time. Later.